Right, Mr. Ahuja, if you could tell us if decentralization of waste management would be a success in India.
Well, decentralization of any utility has to be a success in India, because if you look at energy, decentralization is already happening with rooftop solar coming into it, where it's so difficult to get the grid, be it the water grid, the gas grid, the energy grid, or in the case of waste, the transportation network. The cost of transporting waste from site A to site B is just going to increase, and with more and more urbanization happening, the quantities or quantum of waste is increasing in the cities. So I don't think the cities have the kinds of landfill sites needed to process all of that waste being produced. So decentralized is the only approach left. And when the system comes to a break point, I think that's the time when innovation happens. Necessity is the mother of all inventions. So I think we are living through that breakpoint period right now, where a lot of decentralized utilities will start to come up in the near future.
If you could tell us a little about this event of today.
So the idea of putting today's event was to bring forth the message that it's not just the technology that solves the problem. You also have to look at the economic model, the business model, the financial model, bring it all together, and that's when you start to see solutions. So I don't think technology people understand, maybe some of them do understand the financing jargon and the financing strategies. The finance industry may not understand the complexity of policy making and regulatory. Maybe some of them do, but to bring it all together is the necessary set of ingredients needed to bring a more effective and robust and sustainable solution. So the idea of putting the event was to bring all of those stakeholders under one roof so we can brainstorm and appreciate each other's viewpoint.
Right. You spoke about one of the biggest project on big data. If you could tell us about it.
So big data, of course, is a whole new industry starting today. Both from data collection to data management, mining, and analytical work, but not enough is being done on the environmental problems because we don't have the data sources. So the opportunity India has via the Ganga project, the various pollution-based scenarios that are coming up in the country, is to not only create an industry around it, which is to source and collect data using sophisticated instruments, sophisticated sensors, from satellite feeds to feeds coming from drones, to aggregate that data on technology platforms, the big data platforms, and then further analyzing it. So we have three new sets of industries on the anvil. Let's use the opportunity that the political climate has raised the environmental debate, the decibels of the environmental debate to all-time high. Let's use the opportunity to create new entrepreneurs and innovations using big data as one particular case in point.
Right. Few do's and don'ts for startup entrepreneurs, encouraging them in this sector. Few do's and don'ts.
The do's is don't just be tech savvy. Look at so rather the don'ts is don't just look at the technology. Look at the solution, because you have to look at the economic and the commercial model around it. Partner with entities like ourselves and others who will package the entire framework and solution framework needed to push the solution out. So that's the don't. Don't just be stuck in your own silo. Look at other silos and integrating those silos. The do's, of course, is use the opportunity around you to try and solve the big problems. Don't just be looking or hunting for profits. Profits will come automatically once you start solving the problems.
Right. How do you think yourself and organizations such as yours would be associated with the 100 smart cities coming up?
Well, to start off with, we're already developing a smart city ourselves. We're not waiting for the government machinery to kick in. We started a project 2 years ago, even before the word smart city came into India's vocabulary. But it requires moving a massive piece of machinery. There are two elements of smart cities that one must realize: what happens within a gated community, within a building, and how that building or gated community interfaces with the city and municipal infrastructure. So I think, yes, the macro scale planning is needed, which the government's already working on, but we also need bottom-up approach where individual developers engineering companies, real estate companies start to absorb and adopt the smart city framework, so that we would actually creating homegrown solutions rather than importing them from elsewhere in the world.
Right. According to you, what would be the solution for someone who wants to go ahead and contribute to all of these social, sustainable, and innovation? What needs to be done?
I think, firstly, recognize that you as an individual have to participate. If you're not a participating citizen, if you're just pointing fingers and blaming others, then you failed even before you've begun. So how can you engage? Can you champion your local resident welfare association to put up a rooftop solar? Can you develop an innovative financial model? If you're in engineering and technology buff, then can you bring something new, innovative to the market? There are ample opportunities now to demonstrate what you have to offer, but the real urge and need has to come from within, that yes, I want to make a difference and participate in solving the big problems that India or the world is facing so far as environment is concerned.
All right. What would be the 3 solutions for sustainable social innovation in India, taking into consideration the economy and the complete different set of problems we have?
The 3 big solutions, I think, are around water, energy and waste. I think we have to solve this problem, otherwise it's a big time bomb ticking. So if we introduce decentralized models around these 3 utility sectors, I think India will be a very, very different place in the next 5 to 10 years.